starts to roll behind the devil. But as the devil runs, he shouts back at the hedgehog, and you say after me, I'll run you out.
I'll run you out.
I'll run you round.
I'll run you out.
To hell's red fire.
To hell's red fire.
I'll pull you down.
I'll pull you down. Yeah.
And the devil arrives at the other end of the ditch to find the hedgehog. Where have you been? Says the hedgehog. You're very slow. And the hedgehog rolls himself into a ball and starts rolling back the other way down the ditch. And the devil says, Wah! The devil runs off the hedgehog, runs past him, and as he runs past him, he says, I'll run you out!
I'll run you out.
I'll run you round.
I'll run you out.
To hell's red fire.
To hell's red fire.
I'll pull you down.
I'll pull you down.
Yeah!
Yeah.
And when he arrives at the other end of the ditch, there waiting for him is... Where have you been? Says the hedgehog. You're very slow. And the devil says, No! The hedgehog curls himself into a ball and rolls back down the ditch. The devil runs after him. And this goes on for the whole night. Every time the devil arrives at the end of the ditch, there is the hedgehog waiting for him, rolling himself into a ball, ready to go back the other way. And still, all through the night, the devil shouts at the hedgehog, I'll run you out! Coming up over the horizon, the devil arrives at the end of the ditch for the last time to find the hedgehog saying, You're not so fast, are you? And as the sun breaks over the horizon and light dances through the forest between the trees, the devil disappears back to hell without the hedgehog. And the hedgehog doesn't curl himself up into a ball. He just trots back down the ditch. Not all the way, only halfway. Because at the halfway point down the ditch, he meets his brother coming back the other way. And so that's the story of the devil and the hedgehog. That's how you and I told it. And I said to you, you know this story. Well, you maybe didn't know the story about the devil and the hedgehog, but you do know a story about a race. And who is in your story? Who's in it? Exactly, the hare and the tortoise. Now your story, hare and tortoise. Oh, sorry. How does hare lose the race in your story? What happens to hare? What does he do? He falls asleep, doesn't he? Absolutely right. In your story, well, your story comes from Greece. A very old story from Greece. But if we went to South Africa, we find the hare and the tortoise story, still the hare and the tortoise, but the tortoise doesn't fall asleep. Sorry, the hare doesn't fall asleep. The tortoise wins the race because his family helps him. Which is a bit like the story I just told you from England, isn't it? So it's hare and the tortoise in Greece, hare and the tortoise in South Africa. If we went to, let me get this right, Malaysia, in Malaysia, there's no hare and tortoise. It's a bird and a snail. And who wins the race? Snail. If we go to Brazil, it's the tortoise again, but he races against the deer. Who wins the race? Tortoise. So the idea of a race goes all the way round the world. So later on, I want you to, well, when I come to another story, the last story I tell you is a story that, again, all of you know. It's a story from Scotland. And there'll be a point when I get a reach halfway through the story, and you'll go, oh yes, I know this story.